Hey guys, today is June 9th, 2020, and this was supposed to be the day of our final awards ceremony for our team. The plan was to have it in the school cafeteria. We were going to try something different in comparison to years past, but of course we weren't able to do that. Now, even though the statewide lockdown has been eased, school facilities are still off limits. I was going to try to do this at a neutral location, but I didn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable with attending a group setting yet, and I just want to make sure everyone could attend, so I thought maybe this might be the best way to do that. So this presentation is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be geared towards and focused on the 10 senior captains. These are the guys that had been on the track team for 3 or 4 years. This was going to be their final season, and they were deprived of it. And a few things about that. It was really neat to see the enthusiasm this year for this season, and it pretty much started last year at the end of the 2019 season. And I consistently heard from a number of these 10 senior captains that how much they were looking forward to this season. Again, they were deprived of this season, along with a lot of the other rites of passage that go along with being a senior. So we are going to highlight these 10 individuals. I'm going to go through them in alphabetical order, say a little bit about each of them, and then I'll conclude with a few final thoughts. Okay, first we have Charlie Driznak. This was his third and final season. He had competed in the 2017-2019, and this is going to be his third season. Charlie participated in winter track this year, ran a few of the indoor meets, and he was an anticipated member of the 4x1 and 4x2 teams. Last season he ended with a 12.15 in the 100-meter dash, and he would have easily been sub 12 this season. And just a contrast from his freshman year, in the 200 he ran a 31.33, and then at the end of last season he ran a 24.77. So that's a 21% improvement. So it's kind of like saying you got 21% faster. Next we have Turner Felton, and this was his 4th year. He also participated in winter track. He actually was also on the 4x2 indoor team for the state meet. It was anticipated that he was going to be an integral member of the 4x4 and the 4x8 teams, and maybe the 300 hurdles this year. That was a possibility. Turner's 400 time as a freshman was 59.8, and then at the end of last year he was at a 51.72. I am certain that he would have been in the top 10 for the Open 400 this year if he would have run that. Next we have Dimitri Griffin, also his 4th year. He participated in the winter season and qualified for the 4x2 team and also the 200-meter open. He was already in the top 10 for the 400-meter dash, and I was anticipating that he was going to make a run for the school record this year. He would have also been among the top 5 in the 200-meter dash list, and then he is top 5 in the high jump and long jump, and we are anticipating Dimitri to return to the high jump in the state meet this year, and maybe even the long jump. Next is Willem Murray, also his 4th year on the team. He participated in the winter season, qualified for the state meet in the 60-meter hurdles, and placed 15th in the state for the indoor season. And his time is the 2nd fastest 60-meter hurdle time in school history. Just a contrast from his freshman to his senior year. This is the indoor time. He ran a 10.92 as a freshman, and then at the state meet, ran a indoor state meet a couple months ago. He ran a 8.64. So it was the expectation that he was going to make a run at the school record. He was already in the top 5 in Mount Pleasant school history in that event, and that was for the 110-meter hurdles. Zack Mogg, this was his third year on the team. He also participated in the winter season. It was the 2019 season that he discovered the 800-meter dash. At the beginning of the season, he ran a 2:16, and by the end of the season, he ran a 2:01, and that was at regionals, and that was just a month and a half difference between those two times. I was actually expecting Zack to make a run at the school record based on his training and based on the improvement over just last year. Next we have Cooper Payne. This was his fourth year on the team. Cooper is a sprinter, and in the 100-meter dash as a freshman, he ran a 13.73, and as a junior, it was 12.15. So it was anticipated that Cooper was going to be on the 4x1 team this year. The 200-meter dash for Cooper as a freshman was 27.16. As a junior, 25.93. And then also in the 400-meter dash, 101.68. 101.68 as a freshman, and at the end of his junior year, ran a 56.8. Next is Luke Taylor. This was his fourth year on the team. As a freshman, Luke ran a 59.96 in the 400-meter dash, and then as a junior, a 51.72. He would have been in the top 10 this season in school history. He was an expected member of the 4x2 and 4x400-meter relays. As a freshman, Luke ran a 27.17 in the 200-meter dash, and as a junior last year, ran a 23.97. And then the high jump, he was already on the top 10 list, and was expected that Luke was going back to the state meet to compete in that event. Next, we have Chadwick Utterback. This was his fourth year on the team. He participated in winter track, and he was on the 4x2 indoor state qualifying team for the indoor season this year. Chauncey's event was pole vault, and in 2017, he started at 7 feet, and then as a junior, he vaulted 11 feet, and he was already on the top 10 list, and the expectation that we had for Chauncey was that he would climb to the top 5 competitors in school history in that event. Ben Velguth, his fourth year, participated in winter track. Shot put and discus are his events. As a freshman in shot, he threw a 31.5, and then as a junior, a 41.5. And then just this winter, he competed and already improved by almost a foot. He threw a 42.275. In discus, started out as a freshman throwing 80 feet, 10 inches, and then at the end of last year, I believe it was at the Saginaw Valley meet, he threw a 127 feet, 8 inches as a junior. So the expectation that we had for Ben was that he was going to be in the top 10 in both events. Finally, we have Ben Robleski, also his fourth year, and his main event was discus. And as a freshman, he threw 79 feet, 3 inches, and then as a junior, he ended the year with 121 feet, 3 inches. And the expectation we had for Ben as well is that he was going to be in the top 10, making the top 10 list of all time. Just a few final thoughts here. I've been involved in this sport for 33 years, 22 of those as a coach, so I've seen a lot of interesting and crazy things. One of those things is when you see an extraordinary team. I've had the privilege of coaching a few of those teams. I have also interacted with coaches in the past that had extraordinary teams, and these coaches usually say something along the lines of, "This year's the year." Going into this season, I was asked by numerous people about my expectations for this year's team. My reply was basically, "This year's the year." I shared more times than I can count that this team had the potential to be one of the best in the 113-year history of track and field at Mount Pleasant High School. I mentioned that many of these senior athletes had the potential to set new school records, or at least to be in the top 5, top 10 in the history of the school. You might ask, how could I be certain of this? Well, two reasons. First, I coached the individuals that set these records years ago, so I knew by comparison the relative abilities and potential of the guys on this year's team. Second, and more important, the supportive system and the camaraderie on this team was of a nature that makes such achievements possible. Trophies, records, and championships, however, are not the true measures of success for a team. These are determined by the following items, and these are the things that really matter. Did the team become the best it could be? Did the players stay united throughout the entire season? Did the team compete like warriors and refuse to quit? Did the players demonstrate respect, responsibility, integrity, sportsmanship, fair play, and unselfishness? Beyond any doubt, I know the answers to these questions would have been an unequivocal yes. Watching these young men develop into the leaders that they are over the last 3 seasons, I saw the stars aligning, indicating something special. When you can say yes to all those questions, the accolades, the championships, those just are a byproduct of having a team like that. We had the best start to a season that I can remember. Of course, the weather being cooperative helped with that, but I saw just in that first week an air of confidence, enthusiasm, and anticipation. Unfortunately, after 1 week, our season was suspended and then later canceled. To you seniors, your situation is unique and is something that will always set you apart when you meet future acquaintances, friends, and colleagues. Being a graduate of 2020 is a blessing, not a curse. It is an experience that no one in 3 generations can say that they share with you. Use it as a testimony to relate to others when the unexpected happens. Today I send each of you a gift. It's the usual gift that I give each year to the graduating seniors, which is this book called As a Man Thinketh. Here's a quote from the book. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the sum of all of his thoughts. This year I actually added another gift for you guys because of it's been, like we said, a unique year. And this book is called Man's Search for Meaning. The author of this book is a Holocaust survivor, and his perspective is compelling. Here's a quote from the book. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue. And it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's dedication to a cause greater than oneself, or as the byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than oneself. You have to let it happen by not caring about it. These books are meant to make you guys think and reflect, and they are the kind of books that you'll reread and go back to and refer to, especially when times are tough. And I want to leave you guys with one more thing. I just came across this recently and found it too good not to share. It stuck with me, and I hope it sticks with you. It has to do with facing adversity and when you find yourself in hot water. There are basically 3 ways you can handle a tough situation. You can handle it like an egg, a carrot, or coffee. What do I mean by that? Well, each of these objects react differently to boiling water. If you put an egg in boiling water, it comes out hard. And sometimes people face adversity and come on the other side of that. They are jaded, hard, calloused. If you put a carrot in boiling water, it comes out softer, weaker, and sometimes people come out of adversity or face adversity and come out more timid and afraid. So with coffee, though, when you put that in boiling water, the water does not change the coffee changes the water. So this is a perpetual question for you. How are you going to handle adversity? Like the egg, like the carrot, or the coffee? And my advice would also always be to never allow yourself to be a victim, like the egg or the carrot. And when you get into a situation, always leave your mark and leave a situation better than when you found it. So be the hero of your own story. So that concludes our presentation. Thanks for watching. Seniors, good luck, and I wish you the very, very best.